Today I am podcasting from Richardson Park in Hilo, Hawaii. I just put my microphone on. I do this to you guys every single time, and someday I'll remember, or maybe I won't. Anyway, so what am I here to say today? Well, I went for a hike, a kind of an urban hike in a lovely mountain town called Waimea, and it's a park. And there's just things there that, you walk along a beautiful little creek, and sometimes there's water in it and sometimes there's not. And we were there to just, one, be a part of the community and life, okay, and two, for me, walking is a very good idea because it is. While you're sick, you should be exercising, even if it is just a mild walk. So we take this beautiful walk through this park in Waimea, and we're going along, and I'm seeing rainbows and different things. The weather that day was fussy. It rained a lot, and at that elevation in Hawaii, it rains a lot. So that's a very common daily experience. So that is something to expect. So, and I'm starting to feel like when the rain touches me, how lovely, because I'm being kissed by the goddess Hina. So for me to get wet by her rainbow kisses, I think it's beautiful. It's a new perspective for me, and I totally embrace that thought. So we're walking along, and several things happen, several different encounters along the way. And as a medium, I do try to pay attention to what I encounter. And as I was walking, I had an urge to bend down and pick up the soil and rub it between my fingers in just such a way, which caught the attention of my husband. His dad was a soil scientist for the Conservation Corps. And so my husband says, why did you just roll the soil in your fingers that way? And I gently looked at him and said, well, your dad wanted me to feel it. He wanted to feel the soil. He wanted to enjoy the fertile soil of Hawaii in Waimea. And my husband says to me, you do understand my dad did that. You've never seen him do that. No, I have not. My dad did it exactly that way. Well, yes, awareness comes in interesting packages, does it not? And was Spirit speaking to me, or was it speaking to my husband? I can't really tell you, but I want to share the graceful and the divine with you. So we go along, and I take pictures, and I feel a sense of whimsicalness, if you will. I saw myself in some ways as a whale, a giant whale, swimming alongside my pod in life, as a big old anti-whale, looking to do something to create something different that helps the collective. And so I sort of allowed myself to languish in these interesting creative thoughts. That's how creativity works. We open our minds and we open our souls. They're connected. So at any rate, today I'm in Hilo, and I'm going to have an additional treatment today. Well, I get treatment once a week. So I'm here, and we're driving down the road. And just to kind of give you an idea of how lovely and divine the connection can be. So we're driving down the highway, and I'm feeling sort of, I wouldn't say spacey, maybe dreamy would be the word for it that I would use. That I'm just collectively sort of dreaming and dreamy, and not really so much wanting to hear the noise of life itself directly, but just to kind of tune out a little bit. Know today is a day I have to kind of let go and let the universe come in and create a collective healing in my body as well, because I'm not just physically, I'm spiritually ill, or I wouldn't be in this situation, so I can't lie to myself about that. So, you know, I'm driving along, and, you know, perhaps there's a little bit of a ritual involved in my process in this sense, and that's okay. I honor that in myself, and I gladly take the time I need to heal. So, as I journey forward, we go past some coconut trees, and I get a divine message about coconuts being such a valuable resource on this island, that there's nothing about a coconut that needs to go to waste, not a thing. As a soil scientist, my father-in-law in spirit points out that this medium, this soil, if you will, as he rolls it in his hands, is of a nature and fertility that is of a divine nature and needs care and conservation. He was a soil scientist, worked for the Conservation Corps, so he was about the environment and taking care of things. But what was divinely beautiful is I have been hearing in my heart and in my soul, what goes on above, so goes on below. And I keep hearing that vibration, so that as we go into this energy where we've been in conflict and division, it causes what's below us to be in conflict and division. As we raise up and we accept divine light grows, and divine light becomes more abundant in its own right. As above, so below. And I'm riding along, and my husband, right during that time, again says to me, you know, coconuts here are a lovely resource. They need to be looked at differently. Okay? Serendipitous. When things are happening, listen for the echo. You will hear it. It is there. What goes on above, so goes on below. So, today was an additional confirmation that yes, his dad is divinely a part of our journey as I heal in Hawaii. And, well, today we're just going to simply ask the cards, and I'm going to use the Shadowscape Tarot because this is a shadowy question we're asking, really. We're talking about things that are otherworldly in some ways. So, yes, I am going to shuffle 3 times. And here we go. I am going to spread, and I'm going to do my 5 cards in my base, so 6 cards total. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is essentially a 6-card reading. I will cut again 3 times. This was something myself and my lovely co-reader Pearl Rowland came up with. We were sitting there trying to think about how did we want to do love readings? What were those going to look like too? And we came up with this, and I have been in love with this reading because it just is simple, but it is not. It's kind of, I like the 5 for the divine that I pick, and the 1 from the 3 that cuts, because it feels balanced in some regard. And we get the 6 of Wands. You know, it does feel like at this time, yes, the divine wants to dance with us. It wants to hand us information. And that's confirmatory to me in many ways. So yes, on the divine, there is divine action at all times. You know, I'm very fortunate that I'm deeply configured in the 8th house, so sex, death, rock and roll. So including Pluto, you know, I'm all about it. You know, I'm not afraid to tell the dark story. But yes, we do have contact with the other side for sure. We are divinely guided. They're there holding our hands. It is very difficult for us dimensionally to see it because, well, we live in an environment in a way that is rather clouded and dark. And I think that we're told things that aren't true. And as a result of being told things that aren't true, we operate in confusion and division and aloneness. And aloneness is an illusion. So, and I'm going to say that and say it. But at this time, yes, there's divine action. And it is a 6, which is going to be kind of about family. It's going to be about things that are important and dear to us, being divinely guided. Yes, divinely guided. Okay? And then we start out a King of Swords. We come to this life deeply limited. What we see, what we know, who we are, how we go about breathing our day-to-day life. We're cut off from our own knowledge. And we are asked to, in the dark, blindly crawl our way forward and make something out of it. That's highly limiting. It's highly mind-blowing, too. The King of Swords, the King of Thoughts and limitations. That's what we come to life to do, to face those thoughts, to face those limitations, to overcome them, to integrate into our whole self. That's why I do astrology, because quite frankly, we have ways forward. We have things we're very good at and can be quite balanced in. And then we have things, well, we need to work on. Those things are a part of your natal chart. You can function to your higher good, or you can function to your lowest good. That's up to you. But that's why I do astrology, because I'm looking to short circuit that process. I'm tired of stumbling and falling myself. I'd rather just get up and start dancing and sing my whale song. Yes, I would. Okay? And then here we go. The 8 of Wands. It's divine, and it is discontenting. It's painful. But yes, they're there. They're directing. They're helping us, divinely guiding us in very orchestrated and organized ways. Okay? You get a thought. Do you always think it's your own, or could it be coming from a place you're not aware of? Could it be coming from afar? Well, it certainly could be. It certainly could be. And it could be quite orderly and organized, coming from an on-high position, even your higher self. Okay? We live on this planet. We use objects. And this is my anchor card. So this whole reading is between this divine action and how we're currently doing things. And one of the reasons that I'm doing my healing here in Hawaii, is because I'm forced to think differently. I'm forced to connect to what's true. And quite frankly, this place, if you think you're going to come here and tame Hawaii, it will eat you alive. Because if your intentions aren't honorable, this place is a jungle. It eats homes. The termites come in every year in May and eat your house, and and you deal with it with chemicals, or you don't. The yard is a jungle. You either keep it tamed or you don't, and you shouldn't, right? This is natural. We are guests here. We are trespassers even. Be grateful you have land to stand on. Be grateful. Be very, very grateful. And so here we go, that 4 of Pentacles, how we use the land. We are being divinely guided to see it very differently. Thus, look at the soil. Think agrarian. Think about what's right. Do the right thing. Say the right things. Swim with your pods. Sing the right song. I'm listening to my ancestors. Yes, I am. That is our anchor card. So where we need to focus when the divine comes in is, how are you impacting the planet? How are your footsteps impacting the planet at this time? Because it really does matter. Here in Hawaii, it's savage. If you don't think it is, buy a house and watch it deteriorate in 15 minutes or less, and you'll understand what I mean. Okay? And then it goes to the 5 of Pentacles, because there's something higher than ourselves involved. Okay? What goes on above, so goes on below. We need to take care of what we have. We need to be in gratitude for what we have. We need to understand the divine guidance and listen to it for the sake of our good, our home that we stand on the back of, the earth, the water, the fire, the air. We have to think about that. We have to, okay? And it's divinely guided for us to consider the facts. It's easy to dismiss the facts if it doesn't work for your bias, okay? If you want to live in a nice house and you want to have all the best and you don't understand it, that it's a balance, you know, that's something. But the tide is changing, and it is time to see life differently. And so today I felt very compelled to do this video because, well, as I'm guided, I want to share. This card then leads to a page of wands that this change that we are experiencing and going to experience, I believe something fairly significant is getting ready to happen. I have no idea what it is, and I'm not going to even gather a guess, because all I know is that if we are in need of correction, we will find that we get corrected, and that is for our own divine good. This page of wands is suggesting that yes, pay attention. Something is developing. Something is getting ready to move forward. And yes, for those who want to hear it, the divine is speaking. You can listen for it yourself. You don't need somebody like me to tell you this. Really, one of my issues in practicing this and why it is taking me a good while to come out and do the work I do is because I don't want to diminish the divine, and it's easy to do. It's easy to start thinking of yourself as higher than you are, and that is not where I'm coming from. So with that, I would like you to please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and please do join myself and my lovely co-reader Pearl Rowland over on www.twiggy.com. And furthermore, as I have been stating, and we all need to do, is shadow work. And if you have shadow work and you need a place to start, shoot us a message. I'm interested in little tiny simple answers that point you in the right direction. I am, because we all need to move forward. I offer a service, but I'm also extending myself in simple, forward-moving ways that are helpful to a soul to bring about change, because you have to be what you need to see. All of us do. And with that, I very much thank you for joining me here today.